And so my journey begins. I got off the ferry at Cherbourg and made my way to Granville. I headed off from there and I was making my way to Angers because my accommodation for the night was just on the outskirts of that town, Chateau de Lalande. Now, an old building again, but the decor was very modern and cosmopolitan, and a lot of dark colours used, but it worked well. It was a good marriage, I felt, where the old met the new. The banisters and the balustrades were all decorated with roses because there was a wedding there the next day. And, you know, the scent was lovely, and it kind of made me feel I knew that I was on holidays, because you always have that lovely warm scent, a floral scent. I moved on from there the next day, and I'm heading now towards Tours. Now, I done a pit stop en route with Michael Halpin, and I had lunch with Michael in his bistro that he has on his campsite in Vernon. As I was going along, anyway, I came on this little village by chance, because it wasn't on my list. It's a little village called Pierre de Brossay, and in the centre of this village is one of the most stunning buildings that I seen on my trip this time, and it's Chateau de Lalande, and it's a fortified castle that dates back to 994 to the accommodation that I was staying in, Chateau de Lalande. Now, you'll have to excuse my pronunciation. I'm not that great at it, so don't knock me, please. But again, another chateau hotel in the Loire Valley that was originally built as a fortress during the 100 Years' War. In 1912, it was purchased by the famous perfumer Francois Cote. They've had G5 summits in it, or things like that. The wine cellar houses 45,000 bottles of the finest French wine. It's the finest collection in the world, in actual fact. It's now a chateau hotel offering 65 suites with dining facilities and a spa. The bedroom suite was lovely. It was, you would have thought when you walked in it was wallpapered, but as is told you in my posts, it was actually done with fabric. The two floors. The actual suite that I stayed in was made out of what was the chapel. So I think there's 5 or 6 suites that have been made in there, and then they also have the spa on the lower ground floor. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and the food was very, very nice. Breakfast fit for a king, really. It would have kept you going all day. The staff were exemplary. When I left there, I headed off to that village because there was a brocante on the Sunday morning. So I took a stroll round it. I was very conscious of the COVID, etc. So I didn't spend much time, and I took a few pictures for you, and I'm sure under different circumstances, the experience of the brocantes would be very, very different. So from there, I moved on to Tours, where I was just in time for Mass at Tours Cathedral. So impressive, the building. Chateau Shinanu. One of its famous residents would have been Catherine de Medici. The architecture, the atmosphere, I just find it just blows me away, to be honest. You know, if the walls could speak on these buildings, what stories could they not tell? It has the most beautiful long hallway done in a black and white flooring.
You really could spend days upon days in the gardens. They're absolutely stunning. Look how well trimmed the topiaries are. It is so hot. I could just sit in the middle of that fountain. Everything is symmetrical. Lines are straight. Plantings uniform. Just how a knot garden should be.
The artwork on the walls, the furniture, the actual interior architecture, the ceilings. I could just admire it so much. I could just spend every day going to these buildings. Outside there's a pigeon tower, and the gardens are absolutely extensive. The chateau remains in private hands, owned by a French family who are famous chocolatiers. Again, like all my other visits, I could have spent much more time there. There was so much to explore. I really only glossed over the top of it. I hope you enjoy, looking at some of the photos that I did take. After I left there, I headed then straight on to Chateau de Lalande. And when I arrived at Chateau de Lalande, it was just in time for dinner, and Michael Petherick and Ryan were there, as well as Natty, Marie, Kat, Hanny, Selmar, Steve, Philip, Isabel, and the lady herself, Stephanie. So it was a full house when I arrived at Lalande. And that was the first, so that was Sunday evening. So that's the first 3 days of my trip in this video. And I hope you enjoy it. This is all very new to me. And I have to really thank Curtis Ryan, because without his editing and his help, I certainly wouldn't have been able to bring it to you. But thanks very much for watching, and bye for now.